Hello and welcome to my build of the corgi Priestman Cub 5. And just a joke I've got before we start. Paddy were working at the zoo and he was asked, with short of a gorilla, to make love to our female gorilla. And he said, would you consider doing it for £500? And he says, well, yeah, I would, but the 3 conditions. 1, I don't want to kiss it, and I don't want to make eye contact. He said, 2, none of my family or friends must ever know. And 3, can you give me 3 weeks to get the money together? Anyway, here we go. This one has been requested by one of my subscribers. They've asked me a few times to do it and I've never got round to it. I finally got all the parts to do it. Here I'm removing the base. And here I'm drilling the cab floor to give access to the interior. And there we are. The crane mechanism is a nice self-contained one. I'd really advise anybody doing one of these to pick one with the bucket and everything intact, because it could be quite difficult. I had one with a good bucket and everything intact, just needed rethreading and just clean up the interior there. It's got a little bit of surface rust over the years, but the mechanism was fine and the actual part was fine, all complete. The paint was good, so I never really did anything with a bucket and arm. And really, as I say, if you're going to be doing one of these, that's what I'd look for: a good bucket and arm, good paint on the bucket and arm, and the cabin base that needs doing. And here we are. I've done a slow motion drilling shot because the swarf is quite hypnotising as it's going round. And there we go, again and again. I've done it slow-mo because, as I say, looks quite good. And here we go to quick-mo. I'm just doing the wire brushing the mechanism cage, just to clean the surface rust off. And here I'm just giving it a bath and a scrub over with soapy water, just to get the surface grime off it and the film that was covering it through being stud. And here I'm just bending the arm back up, the top arm. It had a little bit of a curve in it, and just oiling the mechanism. See how the bucket working? Well, it was before, just get it a bit smoother. And here I'm just deburring the burrs on the cab, just cleaning it down. And here I'm drilling out ready for tapping. It's on slow-mo again, so you can see the bits flicking out, and slow-mo, the swarf whipping round and stuff. I'd like to get a camera that'd do really good slow-mo, but probably be quite expensive. And there we are. I've locked the chuck up as usual. I was as deep as I needed to be anyway. And here I'm doing another one of them. when I get it on. Anybody would think I had the DTs. I don't even drink much. And there we are, still on the slow-mo to give the swarf effect. I love watching it, me myself. It's quite hypnotising. And I'd say that's probably going to be deep enough as well. More than. And here I am just putting one of the screws in. Oh no, sorry, oiling and tapping. And then I put the screws in after. Tapping again there. And there we are, I'm putting a screw in there. And here I'm just bending one of the axles that were bent straight. And here we are, the caustic method doom. Quite a quick one this time as the bubbles die down. There's not much point in watching once you've got a full layer of foam on top. And here I'm just... The caustic didn't really do a good job on the yellow on the actual chassis, so I wire brushed it off. And here it's going into primer. Quite quickly as it goes. And here the base is going into the primer. And what I'm doing here, before I paint it, I'm polishing up the wheels with silver water salt. Then once I've polished them up, they went to the bathroom to wash the polish off, ready for painting. And here I'm spraying the cab colour, the orange. I had a bit of a disaster with it because I tried baking the paint on and it actually blistered, even though I only had it on about 100 degrees. So I may try it again and try a lower temp. There we are. It's a lovely colour. I actually had to sand it down and spray again later, but I'll show that. Show it later on. And here I'm putting the yellow on the base. Just gradually putting it on, building it up to, because yellow's such a weak colour, it takes quite a bit to build it up usually. Yeah, it's not one of my favourites for laying down. I should perhaps get a tin of pink primer, either pink primer or white. And here I'm using the ball pole solid polish again to polish up the window units. It's odd in castings in a way that the window units are a split and they make two halves of the box, and you sit your driver in it and then slide the window unit in. So he's sandwiched, the driver's sort of sandwiched between two window units in the cab. Still painting the orange. Oh, this is after I'd sanded it down, and this is the second coat, I think. And here I'm putting on the aftermarket tracks. I'm not really happy with these tracks. I think they've supplied some that's not really meant for it. They don't look like the corgi ones. So I may well get, once Steve Flowers is opened again, I'll probably get another set off him, see what his is like. And this part I've made a bit longer because it shows a crucial part of this model. The first thing you do is thread it through the bucket and loop it through the bucket in effect. So you make two lengths of cord, and then it goes over the top of the jib, then down the pulleys on the body, and it actually, once it's gone on the pulleys on the body, it goes through the hole at the back of the pulleys, and then it threads through the base, which we'll be seeing in a sec. I'm just trying to get two equal lengths here, or equal-ish, so I can thread it down the back of the cab once I've got it to back pulleys. There we are, I'm threading it down back at cab. So that's a longer one that's coming out first. For this, it's a must that you use. I bought mine from sewing shop supplies in my local town, but it's an elasticated thread, or should I say an elasticated cord, as it would have been on the original one. It needs to be elasticated. For what you'll see after, you'll notice why. You couldn't do it with a solid cord. And there I'm pulling it through, so I've not as much to play with when I'm putting the jib on. There you are, I'm pulling the longer lengths to their equal lengths. And now I'm getting the jib to put in the body. This is the fiddly bit, to be honest. This is the most fiddly bit of it. It doesn't help when your hands flap about like a goldfish out of a bowl. And there you are, you've just got to put the jib's pivot in there at the front. Of course, making sure you've located the box proper first, which I hadn't here, so the jib had to come out again and the box in. Oh no, maybe not, I might have got it right there. And there I am pulling the string right. And here, both parts of the cord have to go through the hole in the bottom of the base. Just pull them so they're even. This is about your most awkward bit. There you are, thread it down. Pull that one out, because one length of my cord were a lot longer than the other. I had to pull it through, then I put the other bit through. I put it through wrong hole at first, wouldn't you just believe it? So I had to take it out again and then put it in right one. Or as it goes, still the wrong one. So it had to come out again. It's gone through the screw hole there instead of the hole specially for it. So this time let's have a do at the proper hole. And there you go. Correct hole wonders will never cease. So then what you're doing, you're taking the base back up to the cab, making sure your thread's pulled out, screwing it back together, We used a screw and a washer because the holes were quite big, so the screws would have just gone through without a washer on. And there we go, that's basically it threaded up. I'll have to pull it back on top of the jib once it's screwed together. Well, that's no great hardship really. Because there's still all the slack in it. I'm not actually set the tension yet. I need to set the tension and cut the thread down. I'm just routing it now, putting it to the top of the jib. And I was testing it for the tension. Here we go, I'm holding it and testing it for the tension. It's all threaded up proper on its jibs and its pulleys. Now what I did, you had a little grommet thing that held them on the model, and I don't know if you can get it, but I improvised. I actually used a fishing weight. As long as it's big enough so it doesn't disappear through the hole the thread comes through. And here I'm putting the circlip back on the tracked base. It's a 3-pronged circlip. It just presses up and grips where you've put it up to. I pushed it on with a pair of pliers. And there we go. Clips on, or more or less on. There's a few things on this model different to other models you'll restore, but with common sense it's easy enough stuff to get right. And this one I'm setting my tension. Now it's all back together. Setting the tension up, testing where it'll be best. All I'm doing is pulling and seeing. It's actually quite surprising. You can get the elastic cord quite tight really, because the actual crane mechanism doesn't rely on the cord, it's a mechanical mechanism, so the cord can actually be quite tight. And here I'm putting the fishing weight on, and I crimp it together with some pliers. And there we go. A quick crimping and we sorted out. Another trial again, see we're all okie dokie. It's working nicely. Very clever mechanism really, the way Corgi made it. The way the bucket lid works and the way the boom works and everything. Very clever. The draftsmen and engineers Corgi used to must have had. There must have been engineers on team to work out a lot of stuff the way it works. And anyway, Here's the finished article. Looking terrific. And it's got its decals on here, its priestman on the rear and its cub decals on the side. It's got its tracks all on, and I will say I may try and source a nicer set of tracks for it when all this COVID thing's over it and model supplies is open, but they're okay for a display model anyway. They're good enough for display. Just could be a bit tauter, and I think, looking at it, that the proper model tyres, tracks, will have a groove in the middle on the inside to stop them sliding off or inwards. These don't have it, so they slide off and inwards. And anyway, moving on to the next one. And here we go. I'm just demonstrating everything works. The body swings round and the actual bucket mechanism works. And there's even a lever to lock the body in position just underneath the cab, so when it's being transported from site to site it doesn't turn. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Even better, hit the bell note icon for notifications, and see you in my next video.